Hi there, welcome to the third episode of my 10-minute moan of today. And the topic of this 10-minute moan is yet another child to be stabbed to death in the streets of the United Kingdom. And I just can't believe it's just every day we find more and more, but mainstream don't seem to be that bothered. Because this one reached the mainstream 24 hours after. And even some of the mainstream, like the BBC, have it buried away in local sections. This is either deliberate or it's just so common now that it doesn't make the mainstream media and shock anybody anymore. And it's in the midst of the government who have an amnesty, 29-day amnesty, started midnight on Sunday, for 8-inch blades, zombie knives and machetes to be handed in an amnesty, which they will compensate you for if you hand back a blade. And they're not telling anybody. They actually are making a big deal about this, which I find incredible. We've got now a 13-year-old boy stabbed to death in the streets of Oldbury in the West Midlands. And I'll cover this story from Sky's coverage, one of the few, if not the only, national outlet that's reporting on it. They're reporting on it 24 hours after it actually happened, which just blows my mind. However, their headline: murder investigation launched after boy 13 stabbed to death in Oldbury. Detectives are working flat out to find the attacker. Detective Superintendent Shaun Edwards from West Midlands Police Homicide Team said, "It's absolutely tragic. A young life has been lost," he added. A murder investigation was launched after a 13-year-old boy was stabbed to death. Police were called at 4 p.m. on Thursday to a home on Lovett Avenue in the West Midlands market town of Oldbury. The child died despite being treated by paramedics. West Midlands Police say a team of detectives is investigating. Detective Superintendent Shaun Edwards from the Forces Homicide Team said, "It's absolutely tragic. A young life has been lost. We have specialist officers who will be supporting the family of the boy. We have detectives working flat out to find whoever is responsible and bring him into custody as soon as possible." Resident Jacqueline Burger told Sky News she was in shock at the stabbing. "It's a child," she said. "It's a life. A life is worth something. I don't know how the family must be feeling. I'm shocked. I'm dismayed." It just makes me wonder what is going on in our society. What could be causing a 13-year-old boy to be stabbed to death? Well, it's like his own home. Another knife crime. Just another statistic. Unfortunately, I don't even know the name of the boy, but pass condolences to his family. It just highlights to me how out of control this whole situation is with knife crime and the normality of the whole situation. It just beggars belief that it's just another day, another one. It's not there. You need to really look for this story to find any news on it whatsoever. It's just absolutely horrific. Last year, West Midlands had its highest rate of knife offences in England and Wales. In many cases, victims of stabbings have been teenagers. This is from the BBC, but not the BBC's main site, the local Birmingham and Black Country section of their news. It's just so widespread. People have laid bouquets of flowers outside the house. One woman collapsed in tears after she left her tribute. Police cordon has been put in place and forensic officers have been seen at the back of the property. Detectives have been making door-to-door inquiries with neighbours in an effort to find out more about what happened. Richard Goldingay, 24, lives nearby and said the news made him feel concerned about his and his parents' safety. Kind of understand why. The area is generally pretty rough. Oldbury is not really how it used to be, if it makes sense. When I came to the country in 2007, the area was generally nice. You don't really get much reports or incidents as you have recently. It's changed, it definitely has changed. He added it was quite shocking to hear about it and to see what was happening. The forensics team's been out in police cars all over the road. It was quite scary. Darius Rayman, a youth worker for Sandwell Council, was at the scene on Friday morning. He said, I think it's really sad that somebody's 13-year-old has passed away. He hasn't even lived up to his teenage years. He said he felt more needed to be done about knife crime by the government. I share your views. Do we need to go back to the drawing board? How and why is this happening to young people in this area? A spokesperson for the ambulance service said upon arrival we found a teenage boy with life-threatening injuries. Ambulance staff administered advanced trauma care at the scene, but unfortunately, despite their best efforts, nothing more could be done to save him, and he was confirmed deceased at the scene. Anyone with any information has been asked to contact the police. Smethwick MP Gurinder Singh Chauhan posted a statement which said, "This is a tragic waste of a young life, and my thoughts, prayers and condolences with the family and friends of the young boy." He praised paramedics for their swift response, added, "I have been in touch with Sandwell Police, and whilst we do not yet know the full circumstances, the police have launched a murder investigation." He reiterated that they would work flat out to bring whoever is responsible to justice. West Midlands Crime Stoppers Chair Mohammed Zafran said knife crime is an increasing big problem in Birmingham. We need parents to lay the foundations and more community leaders to come out open and put it to the authorities to ensure we have more youth hubs which could stop these youths from loitering in the streets. Kind of get that, but this happened in his door. It's frightening. 13-year-old boy. Obviously, it sounds not obvious, but it sounds like it's been at his garden, if that's where the forensics were, or potentially the garden was a getaway. It just absolutely beggars belief. And again, while I search this one, I find others. People being convicted today. A mother killed her own 10-year-old child. And another story. Well, I'm trying to find out more information about this Oldbury one. Other stories are just popping up. I think you don't hear about them, you don't read about them, you don't see them in the news. The reason being, it's just every day, isn't it? It is just every single day. And what's the government doing? I know, I'm actually probably pushing this more than our government. That we're currently having an amnesty for 8-inch knives, zombie knives and machetes to be handed into police stations and compensation given. And once the 29 days is up, it started on midnight on Sunday, it will then be, now get this, it will then and only then be law not to own, carry or make or sell a machete, a zombie knife or knives over 8 inches long. In 2024, that's us just getting to that point. But Keir Starmer has said nothing on it. Yet, despite many times talking after the 3 young girls were murdered, going to their summer camp, he's remained silent. This should be front and centre. This is just, it's no isolated, is it isolated? There's all individual cases. There doesn't seem to be many cases of mass murderers running about. That's not the point. But the point is, it seems to be so acceptable to society that people have knives capable of killing folk, and they're doing it on a regular basis. So, if this video meant anything to you, please give it a thumbs up. If you've not already done so, please subscribe and hit the notifications bell. But most importantly of all, unless you're these people carrying these knives and carrying out these horrific attacks, or the government that seems to be doing bugger all about it, see everyone else, have a great day. Cheery bye now.